T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of FTA. Go FTA, go Falcon.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We're now at T plus 40 seconds into the Space Development Agency Tranche 0 mission. Falcon 9 has...
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 has throttled down its engines in preparation for Max Q, which is coming up here in just about 20 seconds or so. Max Q is the point at which the vehicle experiences the
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
The greatest amount of aerodynamic pressure, the largest structural load on the vehicle on ascent.
Max Q.
Great news, we have passed through Max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Intelsat 40E. Go Intelsat, go Falcon.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure nominal.
If you're just joining us, those gorgeous views on your screen mean that Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
Nominal power and telemetry.
The call out there that nominal power and telemetry for the vehicle. During this phase, which is called ascent, we tilt the engines. The technical term for this is called gimbaling, and that turns the rocket horizontally in what we call a gravity turn.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
There's a call out that Falcon 9 is now traveling faster than the speed of sound.
À tous de DVO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage AP, décollage. La propulsion est nominale.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Transporter 7. Go Falcon, go Transporter.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into flight, and Falcon 9 has cleared the tower at Space Launch Complex 4 East. We're currently throttling down the engines in preparation for Max Q. Max Q is the maximum...
Nominal power and telemetry.
Max Q is the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will see on ascent. That's the largest structural load on the vehicle.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Good call-outs there, and we are coming up on Max Q in just a few seconds from now.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into flight, and Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at 8:50 a.m. Eastern Time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
And we are throttling down the engines in preparation for max Q.
Vehicle supersonic.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3. Booster after chamber pressure is nominal.
T plus 33 seconds into the test flight of the inaugural Starship vehicle. Tower cleared, we're into pitch over. Propulsion reports first stage engines nominal. What a sight from the ground cameras at Starbase. We're flying at twice the thrust of the Saturn V heading to space.
Acquisition of signal, surface proceed.
We're throttled down and throttled back up. Going through the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. As the velocity increases, the density of the atmosphere is decreasing.
Max Q.
Lessening stress on the vehicle. The call out, max Q now. Continuing to watch the first stage as we head downrange. A 100 seconds into flight. Our next major activity is going to be shutdown of the first stage. The Houston tracking station now acquiring the vehicle. With shutdown, we will get separation of Starship from Super Heavy and ignition of the Starship engines. When Starship separates, we light up 6 engines in a staggered sequence. And if all goes well, those 6 engines will burn for almost 6.5 minutes. Onboard view from Starship. And there's views of the Raptor engines on the second stage as we prepare for stage separation. Now after stage separation, the first stage will flip and begin a boost back maneuver for landing in the Gulf. Continuing to fly, 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Let's get ready for main engine cutoff.
Booster engine cutoff.
Beginning to flip for stage separation.
As of right now, we are awaiting stage separation, where Starship should separate from the Super Heavy booster.
Yeah, Kate, right now it looks like we saw the start of the flip, but obviously we're seeing from the ground cameras the entire Starship stack continuing to rotate. We should have had separation by now. Obviously, this is does not appear to be a nominal situation.
Yeah, it does appear to be spinning, but I do want to remind everyone that everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake. As you saw, as we promised, an exciting end to the Starship inaugural integrated test flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Liftoff normal. And the PSLV-C55 has lifted off, flying past the tufts of clouds.
P2 tracking.
भव्य नजारा PSLV-C55 का सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन। PSLV-C55 प्रमोचक यान अपने निर्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर। दर्शकों का उत्साह, यान के कंपन सब हम यहां महसूस कर रहे हैं। यह बहुत उत्साहवर्धक होता है। यान पूरी तरह सामान्य और अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहा है।
The S-139 motor, PS-1, developing nominal thrust of 4,800 kilonewtons.
Short 2 is in main auto. Plus 1 minute.
पहले चरण के प्रज्वलन के दौरान रॉकेट वायुगतिक यानी एरोडायनामिक संरचनात्मक और नियंत्रण तंत्र की दृष्टि से बहुत कठिन परिस्थितियों से गुजर रहा होता है।
First stage performance normal.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine full power. And liftoff of Starlink 3-5. Go Falcon, go Starlink. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Launch Complex 4 East at 6:40 a.m. Pacific Time.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engine full power, and go! Falcon 9 and SES-03B mPOWER.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle's pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off of Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the O3B mPOWER payload. During ascent, we tilt the engines, technically called gimbling, and this turns the rocket horizontally in what we call a gravity turn.
Supersonic.
You heard that call out that the vehicle is now supersonic, and we will be throttling the engines down in preparation for max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure, in just a couple seconds.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power, and liftoff of Viasat 3. Go Viasat, go Falcon Heavy.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
We are 30 seconds into flight under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust. Falcon Heavy is headed to space. Now we are throttling down our engines on those side boosters, and that's in preparation for max Q.
Power into telemetry nominal.
Max Q is the moment of peak mechanical stress.
Falcon Heavy is supersonic.
Peak mechanical stress on the vehicle, so we do slow down the vehicle to get through this period of high stress. And once we pass through max Q, we will throttle those engines back up on those side boosters.
Max Q.
And great call out, we have passed through max Q. So we're gonna throttle up those engines again on these side boosters.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Starlink 5-6. Go Starlink, go Falcon. Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida at 3:31 a.m. Pacific Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere during its flight today.
M1D chamber pressures are nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Falcon 9 is now supersonic, meaning it is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
HVB discharge is nominal.
Electron is soaring through the sky right now after lifting off from Pad B at Launch Complex 1, now on its way to low Earth orbit for NASA and TROPICS. The first launch milestone the rocket will pass through is max Q, when the forces against Electron are at their peak as the rocket moves quickly through the atmosphere. Mission Control is expected to call that out on the net shortly.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink. Go Starlink, go Falcon.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 4 East at 1:09 p.m. Pacific Time.
Power and telemetry are nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And as you just heard, Falcon 9 is now supersonic, meaning that it is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 35 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from Cape Canaveral, Florida at 1:03 a.m. Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q,
Power and telemetry nominal,
which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicle supersonic.
With that call out, we hear that Falcon 9 is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
M1D chamber pressure nominal.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, F9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida at 1:31 a.m. Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stress as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicles supersonic.
You just heard that Falcon 9 is now supersonic, which means it's traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Max Q.
And there's that call out for max Q, which again is when the rocket experiences the largest amount of external stress.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full power. Liftoff. Delivery of OneWeb.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 4 East at the Vandenberg Space Force Base. We're carrying the Iridium OneWeb satellites into orbit. We've begun gimbaling the engines on the first stage. Gimbaling is really just tilting the engines.
Power and telemetry nominal.
We've begun what's called a gravity turn. So we're letting gravity help pull the rocket to go sideways. We need to be going fast horizontally to get into orbit. We actually just got through the throttle bucket.
Vehicle supersonic.
Throttle bucket being where we've throttled down the Merlin 1D engines in preparation for max Q. That's the point of highest stresses on the vehicle.
Max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff, Falcon 9. Go Axiom.
It's 1 Alpha.
Copy, 1 Alpha.
Together we expand what is possible in low Earth orbit. Ad Astra and Godspeed AX2.
T plus 36 seconds into flight. A great view of Falcon 9 heading to space.
Power and telemetry is nominal. Stage 1 throttle down.
Power telemetry nominal. We're into the throttle bucket. The first stage is throttle down power on the Merlin engines in preparation for max Q.
Plane is supersonic.
Faster than the speed of sound as we're getting great views from the first stage camera looking back at Kennedy Space Center and Complex 39A.
Stage 1, throttle up.
Max Q.
Предварительная. Промежуточная. Главное. Подъем. Прошел контакт подъема. Двигатели центрального и боковых блоков ракеты-носителя вышли на режим главной ступени тяги. 10. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. 15. 20. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально. 25. 30. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме. 40. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая. 50. Давление в камерах двигателей в норме. 60. Тангаж, рысканье, вращение в норме.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
HVB discharge nominal.
And that is a beautiful liftoff for Electron. The final 2 TROPICS satellites are on their way and coming to a storm near you. With Electron now having cleared the pad, the next milestone is max Q. This is the point where the forces on Electron are at their greatest. So we'll listen out for clearance of that key moment from mission control soon.
Max Q.
Пуск. Зажигание. Предварительно.
Секунд. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. 20 секунд. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально. 30 секунд. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме. «40 секунд. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая». «50 секунд. Давление в камерах сгорания двигателей ракеты-носителя в норме». «60 секунд. Полет нормальный».
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Arabsat.
Vehicle pitching downrange. Stage 1 engine chambers, pressures are nominal.
Moving through the clouds there, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40. Coming up next, we'll throttle down the 9 Merlin engines on the first stage to prepare for max Q at about T plus 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Vehicles on the right track. Now, as you may already know, max Q is the period of flight with the highest amount of aerodynamic pressures, so it's one of the critical flight milestones we're tracking. Again, we expect that here in just about 10 seconds. And with that call out, we hear that Falcon 9 is moving faster than the speed of sound.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Liftoff normal.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GSLV F12 का चारों L40s तथा कोर बूस्टर S139 अपना सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए उद्देश्य कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर.
Nominal launch of the GSLV F12 mission. The rocket flying by spewing fire into the clear sky of Sriharikota. GS1 and L40s together thrusting currently. The Shah ground station is currently tracking.
Shah 1 main auto. Shah 2 is in main auto.
वर्तमान में प्रथम चरण प्रज्वलित है. इसका कार्यकाल लगभग 110 सेकंड का होगा. इसमें 4800 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है.
P2 change over to SCBT2.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Starlink 2-10. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
At T plus 33 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 11:02 p.m. Pacific Time. The next major milestone coming up is Max Q.
Power and telemetry is nominal.
Max Q is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stress as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicle supersonic.
Just heard a call out that Falcon 9 is now traveling faster than the speed of sound. Coming up next, we should hear that call out for Max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink 6-4. Go Starlink, go Falcon. Falcon 9, pitching downrange.
Stage 1, chamber pressure nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from Cape Canaveral, Florida at 5:56 a.m. Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of CRS-28. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Liftoff of about 7,000 pounds of science and cargo, including a new pair of solar arrays to boost power on the space station.
At T plus 40 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from historic launch complex 39A in Florida. And we're now coming up on max Q in about 20 seconds from now. And this is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will go through during its flight.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And there's that call out that Falcon 9 is supersonic, traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Starlink 5-11. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Falcon 9 is pitching downrange. Stage 1, chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, F9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 40 at the Cape at 3:10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Nominal power and telemetry.
F9 is currently going through the throttle bucket, which is when we throttle down the 9 M1D engines in preparation for max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Transporter 8. Go Falcon, go Transporter. Falcon 9 is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We are T plus 35 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower at Space Launch Complex 4 East. We are currently throttling down the engines in
Power and telemetry nominal.
In preparation for max Q, and great view you can see there on your screen of the vehicle. Max Q is the point
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Max Q is the point of maximum aerodynamic stress that the vehicle will see on ascent.
Max Q.
And great timing, we have just passed through max Q. Now we do have 5 events coming up in quick succession. That will be MECO, stage separation, stage 1 flip, SES-1, and then the start of the boost back burn on the first stage.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, And liftoff. Go Falcon, go PSL. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
That incredible view means that Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40, and right now we are throttling down to prepare for max Q in about 30 seconds. As you may have heard us explain before, this is the period of highest aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle.
Power and telemetry nominal.
That's because at this point, we are seeing the greatest difference in dynamic pressure, which is increasing with the rocket's speed, and ambient static pressure, which is decreasing as we move up through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicle is supersonic.
With that call out, we know that Falcon 9 is moving faster than the speed of sound.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 4E from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 12:19 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, the next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere. We should hear that call out for max Q in about 10 seconds from now.
15 seconds.
Roll for ignition.
10.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We have ignition. 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket, carrying NROL 68 for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Vehicle has now begun the pitchover maneuver. Now, 25 seconds into flight, vehicle performance looks nominal.
You are hearing the voice of Rob Kesselman providing launch vehicle ascent data.
Core booster has now reached the desired partial thrust level. Vehicle performance continues to look good. We are now 5 miles in altitude, 5.8 miles downrange distance. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from the Cape at 11:35 a.m. Eastern Time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
We just heard that Falcon 9 is supersonic, which means the vehicle is now traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Предварительное. Промежуточное. Главное. Подъем.
Двигатели центрального и боковых блоков вышли на режим главной ступени. 10 секунд. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. 20 секунд. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально.